We are.
Welcome back. It's Sew Together Tuesday. I'm Teresa Coates. I'm the National Educator for Shannon Fabrics, and we are back for a summer shorts. Today we're talking about basting. We're here at Patchwork Plus in Dayton, Virginia. Thanks, guys. And we're having a good time. So we wanted to talk to you today about spray basting. Before I get into it, though, make sure you share the video. We'll give away a prize at the end. It'll be great. You'll get a beginner box, which I love. So make sure you share the video and share this with your friends. So we're going to talk about basting, using basting spray, my favorite basting spray, and a great way to be able to hold things together when you're working. So this is one of my favorite techniques for working with Cuddle because it kind of combats the stretchiness and the squirreliness of the fabric. So it's really great for that, but it's actually the same sort of thing if you're going to be spray basting your quilt together or using it for spray basting the, what is the name of it? The By Annie, like soft and stable, and you put that to your fabric so that you can then quilt it. It's the same thing. So all of that spray basting, we're going to talk about that using Cuddle today. Okay, so spray basting is really important in the world of sewing. And it works really, really well for working with Cuddle. So we are using the ODIF 505. So it comes in 2 different sizes. The big one, I have been able to get 3 big quilts, which is what I have here today, out of one of these big cans. And this one you'll usually get at least a quilt and a few different projects. So if you're new to basting sprays, this is probably the one to get. They will get old, so don't buy it and then not use it for 4 years. Buy a smaller can, so that then you can just get through it a little bit faster. So you could have it over probably about a year. It would last and be just fine, maybe 2. But I know I've shown up at classes where people have cans that are like 6 years old and it doesn't stick anymore. So make sure that your can is fresher when you're using it, okay? Newer is better. So buy the can that fits the size for what you're doing. Okay, so this is it. ODIF is the brand name. 505 is their temporary basting spray. They have a whole bunch of other projects or products with different numbers and names and all sorts of things. So make sure that you're looking for this can and that number, so the 505, all right? So the thing about it is that it's a temporary adhesive. It will wash out. So once you wash it through the washing machine, the stickiness goes away. It says to remove it completely, you need to dry clean it. But what I have found is that it does take all the sticky out when you wash it in the washing machine. Okay. So if you read the box or the label, that's what it'll tell you. And I know it's confused people sometimes. So the 505 is awesome. I love it. And the thing about it, we talked about many times on Sew Together Tuesday, is does it stink, Hawk?
It doesn't smell at all. And I have worked with all kinds of spray paints and clear coats and stuff, and I am very sensitive to smells. I have
asthma.
I could be right next to her, and I have no idea that this is going on.
Yeah, I love it for that reason. So it is the only thing that I kind of allow in my classes that I'm like, you have to use the 505 because it doesn't smell. So if you've used basting sprays before and been like, never again, because that stuff was awful, it's not this one. Okay, so I like it. I like the 505. It's really like, it's one of the few times that I'm like, use this brand only. I really do like it a lot. It works very well. So what I've got here is I've got a strip quilt that I have started putting together. And so I've got the 1 seam sewn. So you can come in here, you can see I've got 1 seam sewn in here. All right, and now I need to flip it. So if you're not familiar with how to put together the strip quilts that we do have a tutorial for, I think it's a Bambino strip quilt and a Lullaby strip quilt that you can look for. Oh, as well as this one, which was the Crazy 8 size. So all of those videos, if you want to know how to put together the strip quilt in general, you can go look up that video. Today we're talking about spray basting. So one thing I need to do is I'm going to spray to the back of the piece that is going down. Okay, so this is my strip, and I'm going to spray on here, not here. The reason I do that,
that's the backing fabric,
that's the backing,
right? Okay.
Right, exactly.
That's going all the way up there.
Goes all the way. So sometimes people want to spray here, but if I spray here, I don't really have any control over it not going much further, and then more of my blanket gets sticky. So what I like to do is use a piece of, this is parchment paper, that I'm going to spray the back of the fabric, flip it down. Then my spray is only on this part. All right, that's really important. And make sure that you're keeping something over your good fabric so you're not spraying on the right side of your fabric at all.
Even though it will technically wash out, it still makes it really hard to work with.
It'll technically wash out, but it's going to be sticky the rest of the time that you're dealing with it. And then that sticky would just, you know, attract all of the dirt to stick to it. And who knows if that dirt's going to necessarily go out as much as you want it to. So
Okay, gotcha.
I'm going to start kind of in the middle of the strip, just so I can get that into the right position, and then I'm going to work my way across on either side. We don't want to start on one end and stretch to the other, or stretch at all. So we're going to be really careful with that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spray it. We just need a nice thin little coat, and I'm going to push it up. And then I'm going to smack it a little, and I'm going to move down. So when you're doing this, it's important that you actually kind of pull it up. So I'll show you on the next one. So I'm going to put some more spray on here.
Particularly this Crazy 8 strip quilt, right? Because
With the strip quilts in general, yes.
Right, okay.
So if I don't pull it, you can see a little hump here, and I could pat this in place, but this is still going to have a hump here, and I can actually like
you want to
pull it quite a
flatten
bit.
it out a little.
So I want to flatten it out, pull it up, get it in position, and then I'm going to smack it.
And that we call it the Cuddle Smackdown.
It's the Cuddle Smackdown.
That
and it
actually
gets it
really locks the pieces together.
Because what it's doing, like, and I'm not sure exactly of the physics of it, but the stickiness here, when it gets hit hard, it will actually stick to this better. If you put it on there and then you kind of give it a little pat, this will be loose and floppy, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to move this across here. Okay, and I'm going to try to keep this all as flat as possible. I'm going to do this again. Pull it back to where it's not sticking there. Go ahead and spray that. Okay, and you can see the webbiness. This is all fine right here. If you get a little wet spot, it means you're spraying too much. So chill on the spray. Okay.
Less is more.
Less is more. And we're trying to get this to the point that we can take it to the machine and sew on the next row. So we'll pin base this next row on and then take it to the machine. So all this needs to do is stay until we get the next piece pinned on, really. That's all we're trying to get it to do. It is a temporary adhesive because we're going to sew it down after. All right. So that's important to remember, is you're not asking it to stay that way forever. All right.
When we get done here, maybe I can ask you to show us what it looks like to reposition the other end.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
It is definitely temporary. It does its job for as long as it needs to, and then if you had to go back and reposition something, you're not stuck right now.
Exactly, exactly. So just make sure that you're giving that a nice little tug. Okay, make sure that this is really flat because it will want to hump. And that's the reason we want to use the basting spray and not just pull it over and pin it, because there's no way to keep it as flat without the basting spray. Because believe me, I have had people try. All right, so let's come back over here. So this, just pull it up.
It's
And I can
fine.
feel it's tacky here. So
For a little while, you probably don't even need to add more.
No, if you
just
take
put
it
it
off
back.
too far down the road, then it will have shifted and will just completely be loose. But this, you can see it's still sticking to the back after I
it.
just stuck it back down.
Yep.
Okay, so it is a temporary adhesive. It kind of sticks about the same as like a Post-it note. So that sort of idea where you can pull it off, put it back on. If you do it too many times, it loses the adhesiveness, but it does work for a little while to be able to reposition. So don't worry about getting it in the perfect right place first. All right, totally movable. Is that all that we wanted to tell?
I think that's great.
Okay, all right, so that's what it is. Super easy. Make sure that you're using a light spray. Don't do it heavy. If it's getting wet, you're spraying too much. You're not spray painting, okay? And then make sure that you're using the OD 505 brand basting spray. It just seems to work the best for everything we've done. All right, so you're gonna use it for all sorts of projects. You're gonna use this when you're doing strip quilts, when you're doing the So Simple blanket, and there was another one that I thought of.
The Bambino you mentioned earlier?
The Bambino, any of the strip quilts you're going to do that with. But anything that you're trying to get the two sides to stick together temporarily, it's absolutely perfect for that. So there we go. We'll announce a winner in the comments. And we'll be back next week for more summer shorts. Till then, happy sewing.